Any thoughts about a title yet?
I don't know. I want a title. I do. I want one as badly as you do. Hello and welcome to podcast number 17. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron.
And I'm Trevor.
Actually, like Moonbase 12 or something like that.
Oh.
Like some podcast 12 or something.
I like it. I like it.
Workshop.
I like it. I like it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Insert Title here. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron.
And I'm Trevor.
And here we're going to look at games, genres, and the things we enjoy in gaming.
And to do that, we're going to randomly select a genre each episode.
And we'll give a brief rundown of that genre.
And then we'll select 2 games. One of these games will be the absolute best in show for us, while the other, for whatever reason, is not so good. The catch, and what we hope will be the fun part, is neither of us will have played, or at least played heavily, any of the titles the other has selected.
We're going to take those titles, the best and the worst, divvy them up, and we'll give it an hour of playtime, give or take. We'll meet back up, chat about our experiences.
That's when we're going to give our own opinions of the other's games, celebrate where we agree, and refrain from murdering each other every time we disagree. After all, not everyone can have a perfect opinion.
And that's it, and we hope that you'll join us, listen in, maybe be inspired to try a few titles along the way, or, let us know exactly why our opinions are trash.
Thank you for joining us today, and remember, get up at least 5 minutes every hour so you don't die of a blood clot.
As always, we have our handy-dandy Excel document here. And we're up to, how many possible genres are we up to now, Trevor?
Okay, so we have about 33 genres, 33 genres, and then we have a couple of little extras. So I've got a long play session in here for 2+ hours.
Okay.
If that comes up, it just means we have to plan one of our episodes to be a long play session.
Yeah.
Long form. And we've added wish list games, tactics games. We've got automation, and everything is terrible, where we both play absolutely horrible games.
We sad about it.
Yeah, we sad about it, but hopefully it makes for good content.
Yeah, hey, people like suffering. And we also have a roulette-style wheel, spins 3 options. We'll always pick the first option. However, we have recently added anime into our list.
Yes, I'm going to live to regret that.
Yeah, and if anime comes up on all 3 columns, we will play an anime title.
Yes, so it's not completely out of
and
line.
that one might be locked behind, age restriction filters.
Yes. That's when my explicatives are probably going to be coming out left, right, and center.
And center. And we're not just talking about the game.
But remember,
right.
just remember, when you're on a podcast, no one can tell if you're not wearing pants.
Which I assure you we are.
We certainly are.
For all that you know.
Yes. We wouldn't want anyone to get the wrong idea.
Anyway, let's spin the wheel.
All right. So before we spin the wheel, what are you kind of hoping to try to do this episode?
Call.
Yeah.
Well, we just did shooter.
We did.
And before that, we did a puzzle.
Yes.
I'm thinking something light, something airy, maybe like a roguelike or a Metrovania, something like that.
Okay.
How about you?
I go back to harken back to the long ago, episode 0, 2 episodes ago. I would really like to do.
Actually, it's already been 2.
Yeah, tower defense would be fun.
Ooh, yeah.
But you know what? I'm kind of itching to play a horror game.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people on my YouTube channel asking me about and recommending that I play Aliens, the Aliens game.
Oh, Isolation.
Isolation, yeah.
Yeah, ooh, very atmospheric. It was, they nailed like that boxy sort of, we're in space, but ooh.
Yeah, I've been told it's one of those games to turn out the lights and play. Not unlike most anime games, to be honest.
only we're locking the doors for different reasons.
The doors are locked because the aliens are trying to eat us. Yeah.
And
they've got acidic blood, just like anime girls.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Anyway, that's enough about anime.
Yeah, right? We're talking this like we don't want to do, but like we know a lot.
Aaron and I have only known each other for a short while, but Aaron's probably going, I think Trevor likes anime.
I'm seeing all these DBZ things around.
Yeah. You know what? Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, great anime game, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there are good ones out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But is that an anime game or is that a fighter game?
I would say it falls under both categories. I mean, it is a Dragon Ball story mode that lets you play through the entirety of all of the Dragon Ball Z story arcs. So, yeah, very much an anime game.
Android 18, man, I'm telling you.
Hey, people make fun of Krillin for being useless, although arguably not as useless as Yamcha. But Krillin still, you got to give the little cue ball credit where credit's due. He did marry Android 18.
He married, let's go, buddy.
And yet, Android 17, no love interest, he ends up becoming a ranger, looking after the animals and forest creatures in a nature preserve.
Has anyone checked in on him? Is he doing all
yeah,
right?
I don't know. But in the anime world, he might be a furry. I'm not sure.
But
I digress. Yeah. All right, so let's spin the wheel and see what we end up on.
All right, click.
Right now, it's sitting on everything is terrible. We'll land on 1980s.
Wow.
So we are going to be taking a warp back to the 1980s for the next hour.
80s games.
Now, our time, because you'll probably only get a few minutes of the fun snippets in between.
Yeah, this was like Pac-Man. The original Zelda was released in 86. Oh, Maniac Mansion. Maniac Mansion is like the Trevor and I both really enjoyed Day of the Tentacle, and Day of the Tentacle is technically a sequel to Maniac Mansion.
Yeah, and actually, I think in Day of the Tentacle you could play Maniac Mansion if you found it on one of the computer systems.
You might be right.
Yeah,
I'm a little shaky on that, but you're probably correct.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd.
Yeah, well,
fun facts.
Really, you're a nerd,
right? So 1980s. Wow, this is gonna be hard. Now I am allowed to. This is my turn to take the really bad game.
So you got to pick me a really, really good one. I have to hop on Steam and find just a roughin'.
You know what's really funny is last episode we talked about 1980s games and Cosmic Osmo. I may have to get you in for some Cosmic Osmo. But I'm liking it because retro gaming is where gaming started.
Yeah. It's not really retro.
I could get you to play the original Dune. There's a lot of these that definitely weren't done in the 1980s for sure. Oh, there's an anime game called Stonks 9800.
Hey!
And it's a stock market game because it's called Stonks.
Stonks, yeah. It's the meme. It's the meme.
You want to buy some Stonks?
The Stonks are only going up. E.T. I know what game you're playing. Oh, you can't play this.
E.T.'s Extra Testicle?
E.T.'s the Extraterrestrials.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, I don't think you can play this. I don't think it's available on Steam. That being said, there's probably an online emulator.
There might be. And you know what? That's fair game. Space Quest was good.
Well, we'll take a brief stop. If you go on to retrogames.cz for Czechoslovakia, there is just a bunch of like Atari and things like that on there.
Okay, cool. CZ, let's see. Although, got to be careful with these downloads. You never know.
Yeah.
Your computer has been infected with a crypto virus.
Oh, no, not again.
If you wish to unlock your computer, send 4 bitcoins too. Oh, no.
I can't. I don't have bitcoins.
Yeah, be careful where you download your games from.
Yeah, because, and for the most part, don't.
Yeah, that's a good.
We're going to be doing everything in our power not to as well, but in the cases of, say, a 1980s arcade game, we may not have many options. Fair enough. See, it's tough that I have to pick a bad game for you, because I remember this game, and it was Gazillionaire.
Gazillionaire, okay.
It was one of my first, trade simulator games I ever played.
Okay.
It was big.
Well, remember, you got to pick a really bad one.
I know.
It's got to be bad, and I know it's hard because the 1980s is full of so much nostalgia, and you're just like, I really want you to play this one, Trevor, because this is one of my favorites.
Wow. Okay, I did not know this about Custer's Revenge, but
ooh, fun fact.
It's NSFW.
What?
Yeah.
How is it an SFW?
I got a screen grab right here.
Oh, yeah. Custer's Revenge, none of these characters are wearing any clothing. Although you couldn't tell because they just look like stick figures.
Yeah, right. And I guess the whole point was Custer, our dude here, has to dodge the arrows and spears from the other First Nations.
Oh my God.
To rescue a First Nations princess tied to a pole.
Rescue or
I don't.
or kidnap?
We're going to say rescue.
Oh my gosh.
But oh my God.
Wow. Yeah. That's. I mean, hey. You know what?
It's not happening. I'm not a monster.
I wouldn't touch that with a 40-foot pole.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm shocked it got made.
Fair enough. All right, well, I have selected.
Okay. What am I playing?
So, with 76% of reviews, there's 82 user reviews. It is an older game.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
76% of the 82 user reviews for this game are positive, so it is a mostly positive review. So it does fall under the category of good game. This is one of my most nostalgic games ever.
Oh, that's exciting.
This is called Cosmic Osmo and the Worlds Beyond the Mackerel. And
Already kind of
I'm not doing this as a meme. This is actually, and it is a black and white game. It was made in 1989.
Amazing.
It is a casual adventure point and click.
Okay.
That is very cute. I think that if you were to get really, really high, this game would be very, very mind-blowing. But because that's not really our jam, I think you'll still enjoy it. It's very kind of ambiance.
Okay.
I did actually pre-read a couple of these reviews the other day that people had on them, and there's a few notes about it being a little stuttery on newer machines. Maybe the audio's a little stuttery. And actually, I used to play this. Our computer lab was upgraded from Apple IIgs to some of the first Macintosh computers. Yeah, and this was one of the games you could play. So we had Sim Earth, Cosmic Osmo, Oregon Trail.
Oh, gotta have Oregon Trail. That's a collab.
Yeah, and we had a few other games available, and everybody would fight over the Macs because there, and especially everyone would fight over Cosmic Osmo. So this would have been grade 5 for me.
Okay.
And everybody would fight over the Cosmic Osmo disc because there was only one. And everybody wanted to play it because it was so interesting.
Now, be honest, was it one of these old the big boys, or was it a diskette?
No, it was the Cosmic Osmo would have been the 3.5 inch floppies.
Okay, yeah.
That weren't so floppy.
Yeah.
The 5 1/4 definitely was a floppy disk.
Yeah.
The 3.5s were the hard shell.
Yeah, the diskettes.
So we used to fight over Cosmic Osmo all the time, and I'll be honest with you, I never actually got to really play it. And it was always kind of a sticking point with me that I've remembered since grade 5 that this was a game I never really felt I got enough time with.
Oh.
But I probably did play it for a few hours back then. And I really want you to share in that experience of my childhood.
I'm here.
Try Cosmic Osmo.
I'm here for it.
The Worlds Beyond the Mackerel. So it is described as, and I'll just read the synopsis on Steam here. Cosmic Osmo is a game about exploration and discovery, not winning or challenges. Children and adults will both find something to enjoy in this early gem from the creators of Myst.
Huh.
Oddly enough, I had no idea that this was from the creators of Myst.
So that would have been like, interesting.
And it is the developers Cyan Worlds Inc. So they made Myst as well.
There you go.
So that's a fun fact. I had no idea.
That is interesting.
So the game is available for $7.79.
I've already purchased it.
Perfect. It looks like they also made a game called The Manhole. It is not an NSFW game, but it is also a casual adventure point and click. So that's cool. There's some things there, but so you're going to be playing a black and white 1980s game.
Perfect. You, however, are going to go to a website I have because I found an online emulator.
Oh no. Okay.
And here I'll just link it into our Google Documents.
Send me the link.
So you'll just be able to pull that up. And there you go. I have selected for you the Atari 2600 Classic ET. The Extraterrestrial.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You
and
didn't.
This game is so bad that it single-handedly caused the video game crash of the 1980s.
Wow.
Which forced Nintendo to revamp interest in games. If you recall the Nintendo seal of approval, this was the direct cause of it. This was what Nintendo had to do to make people go, okay, this is a good game. This isn't trash.
It's funny because I've heard that E.T. was basically an unfinished game that they released that didn't work properly. I heard that there's hardly any copies left in existence.
Oh, most of them are in a landfill.
Yeah, but most of them are, because they're in a landfill, most of them are preserved.
Really?
Someone was going to go dig them up, or someone did go dig them up. I can't remember. I've heard a lot of lore around this. But yeah, I heard that they basically just took truckloads and truckloads and truckloads of these games, just dumped them in a landfill and filled them over with dirt.
Yeah, because no one would buy them.
Wow. So this game was out. What year did this officially come out?
1982.
1982.
According to my research, I might be wrong.
Fair enough. So this is definitely 1988. You know, fun fact. E.T. the movie came out in 1982. I've always been regaled with the story. My parents telling me, because I was born in 82. My parents were telling me that, and whether this is true or not, you know, parents like to embellish, but that they had gone to a drive-in movie theater while my mother was pregnant with me. And she went into labor while they were in the drive-thru watching E.T.
Amazing.
Right?
You're an E.T. baby.
I'm an E.T. baby. And my dad said to me that when I was born, my fingers were so long that he was like, oh my God, no, I just had an E.T., right? And so I always remember that story. And I'm like,
story.
I
That's
don't know
a cute little story.
I don't know if it's cute or insulting, but...
that's up to individual
I know. I mean, I like to think my parents love me, but no. So that's kind of it's interesting that you chose this game, because it's
there you go.
It's gonna either make me feel really great about being born in 1982, or wanting to just
move on with your
throw in a landfill and covered in dirt.
Well, I have my predictions. Okay, well, I got Cosmic Osmo all installed. It looks like my little space jet plane is docked.
Sweet.
And I guess, good luck. Have fun.
Absolutely. And because these are 1980s games, we probably only need to play for about a half an hour.
Yeah.
But if you want to play longer, because it is Cosmic Osmo,
Cosmic Osmo,
one of my favorite games from my childhood, give it a shot.
I will.
We've kind of established that childhood is kind of a lie. Like we don't really remember things the same way. But I have to say one thing. Thank God, I never played E.T. as a child. Because, I was sad when my dad brought me Super Soccer instead of Super Metroid.
That drives me up the wall. Like, you don't move and they just walk right by.
If I had asked for, like Hubert for Christmas and I'd have gotten E.T., I would have divorced my family right then and there. I'd have been in this, I'd just estranged my parents and been like, see ya. I didn't know you could legally divorce your parents at that age, but if I had been given ET, I would have found a way.
I would have found a way.
Nature finds a way.
Someone call what is it? CRS, CPS, Child Protective Services. Child Protective Services.
Yeah, ET is definitely Child Protective Services bad. Really fun fact. One of the things that I love about ET, right? Spielberg, right?
Spielberg in general.
Steven Spielberg. Music by John Williams.
Yeah, they had such an amazing collaborative partnership.
So the only good thing about this game is the MIDI score to the John Williams E.T. flying theme. That is probably the only saving grace for this, is the MIDI version of John Williams' composition.
All right. Well, you had the rough game today, so let's do our ratings. Let's graphics out of 10. Keep in mind this is an Atari game, so we should maintain that. But yeah, not a good use of the Atari palette. From what I saw, how did you feel?
So I actually grew up with the Atari. I don't remember. I think it was the Atari 2600. I played at least 50 different games for the Atari, growing up. I would say that this definitely has the worst graphics of any game ever made for the Atari. So in the context...
Zero chill.
Yeah, honestly, in the context of when this game was created, graphics-wise, it kind of looks like E.T.
Yep.
I understand the limitations they had with graphics back then, so I'm going to be very, very generous.
Okay.
1 out of 10.
And the only reason it's not a 0.
The only reason it's not a 0 is because you know what? At least it had graphics.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
They could have done a lot more than just the green color palette, but I get it. So gameplay, I want to be very objective here.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I want to be as truthful as I can.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So gameplay, you know, again, some of my favorite games with the Atari 2600 were Asteroids, Defender, Pac-Man, games like that. So I could not figure out the point of E.T. I had to look it up on Wikipedia. You have to collect the Reese's Pieces, and when you get 9, Elliot will come and give you a piece of the phone. You got to get 3 pieces of the phone, and then you can assemble your spaceship. And then if you assemble your spaceship, there's a time limit. You've got to get to the spaceship before it takes off. So it does try to mimic the movie. And I'll give it some credit for that. And that is why my score for gameplay is going to be 1 out of 10.
Wow, it's almost like this game was destined for the landfill or something.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, I had a warm nostalgic feeling when I first heard the John Williams theme in MIDI.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it made me think of have you ever heard the John Williams is the Man song?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, where it's like, I will go to Tachi Station to get power converters, right? And it's just like they murder it on purpose.
Yeah. Key change, nothing but key change. Here's another key change.
Right.
Oh, look at key change. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it made me kind of think of that. And I was like, ooh, warm, fuzzy. Yeah. And right until I hit start.
It's amazing how fast that went away.
You know, I've never played a game quite like this. I have to give it a fun rating, and I hate to do this because I think it's probably an insult to a lot of other games. I'm going to give it a 0 out of 10. And you know what? I don't give a 0 out of 10. I would never give a game a 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
Until this game.
Until this happened.
Yeah.
I am so happy. I'm so glad I got I feel like I won, you know? I made you play this.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather play Super Meat Shooter for like 3 hours straight than play
You could beat Super Meat Shooter in 3 hours, you'd beat the game.
Yeah, I'd rather play that for 3 hours than play E.T. for 15 minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you definitely picked the best possible
1980s
trash game. And literally trash because it was in a landfill.
It was, yeah. And that is an easy Google check. E.T. landfill.
So my general overall rating, if I average it out using math,
well, it's going to be 0.
I hate myself for this, but I gave it a 1 out of 10, a 1 out of 10, a 0 out of 10. So I have to average it. So it's 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it is a 1 out of 10 general rating. This game is not worth the plastic it was encoded into.
Yeah, leave it in the landfill, guys.
Leave it in the landfill. So stamp of approval for me, is a definite no. This game is not worth playing. It's not worth, unless you really want to see what the worst game ever made looks like.
And there's options for you to be able to get that.
Yeah. It was so bad I can barely remember which game I asked you to play. Although I do remember. So that being said, what did you think? And I really hope you're not going to murder my childhood right now. But I want to know what you thought of Cosmic Osmo.
I will tell you everything I thought about Cosmic Osmo in just 1 second. I am currently on eBay looking at Atari 2600 E.T. the Extraterrestrial cartridges. They start at
$150
for a sealed copy.
Is that US dollars?
Yeah, it's US dollars.
Jeez.
With a $35 delivery.
I get it. People like collecting things. One man's trash is another man's treasure, that kind of thing.
It's literal trash in this case.
But what is the actual point of buying a copy of ET? You can have it on your wall of shame.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
Other than that, why would anyone in their right mind pay $150 for a copy of ET. I mean, what did ET cost when it was released? So originally it was $31.97. 728,000 cartridges were buried in a landfill. 728,000.
Back to Cosmo Cosmo. All right. So graphics wise, again, we've had this discussion. You have to judge a game by the era it was in.
Yes.
And for the era it was in, CD-ROMs were just kind of getting out of its infancy. Most things were still on disc and diskette. So they went black and white for memory limitation issues. And because of that, they were able to do amazingly detailed things.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't have been able to do in color in that era.
Right.
So for graphics, I'm going to give it a solid 8.
8 out of 10. Wow.
It was beautifully, gorgeously rendered. Like you could tell it was hand drawn, and that they cared. So absolutely, got to give it that. Gameplay. There was no gameplay, right? It was just click and go to funny places and see funny things. And if you clicked on, there was interaction, no real like puzzles or anything like that. So like well,
its target was casual adventure.
Yeah, and it was very casual adventure, right? Like you were just kind of going through this cosmic universe with Osmo, and it was really cute in that regard.
I gotta ask though, did you get to the point where he goes, "Holy mackerel! Take a look at this"?
Twice.
Because
there was a fish puzzle.
iconic, quintessential line.
Just a line. So that was fun. It was rewarding. How much you could do. Like I don't see you playing this game for more than an hour or two.
Yeah.
But it was fun for what I got out of it. So I will definitely give it a 7.
7 out of 10.
Yeah,
wow, you are generous today.
I'm generous today, especially because I'm coming from Super Meat Shooter.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, compared to Super Meat Shooter, Cosmic Cosmo is probably like a masterpiece.
Mwah. Chef's kiss. And then, it's graphics, gameplay. What else?
Fun and then general rating.
Fun for me. I'll give it, kind of holding to the. I very rarely give 10 out of 10s. So this was a 7. Because once you kind of got used to it, once you got rid of that, because as gamers we're so conditioned to like, okay, there's the objective, there's what I need to do, there's the win condition, right? Once you kind of throw that all to the side and I'm just here, man. I'm just me and Osmo. We're clicking together.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It's a really interesting game mechanic or game concept to basically say, as opposed to games like Myst, where you want to get to the end, there is an end goal, there's an end game. To have a game that literally has no end goal, has no end game, it's just an experience. I think it's a very interesting concept.
Yeah, absolutely. And I won't lie. For the first 5 minutes, I was like, okay, what's the point? What am I trying to do? Where am I trying to get? What do I need this? Is this important? Do I need to write down these phone numbers? What do they do?
Yeah.
You call the phone numbers from another phone and a funny voice says things. Like there's no point. And once you accept that, once you've this is just to fool around in, I was able to free myself, and I had a good time just clicking on things, right?
That's good. I'm glad, yeah, because I'll be honest, I was worried you were going to be like, actually, Trevor, your memories of this game, very skewed. It is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Like, unfortunately, this game would not do well now.
Right.
Like, it would not do well now. Most of the audience who will play this are kids, and kids nowadays, this isn't what they like. And that's fine, right? I'm not here to say that that's...
I mean, could you imagine making a black and white game that's not like a dark noir style mystery?
No,
nowadays?
Absolutely not.
No, people would be like, why are you releasing a black and white game today? Yeah. You couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it. I mean, Cultic, which is a first-person shooter, got close. They used a very subdued color palette, but black and white, beyond giving itself this, you immediately get an atmosphere from black and white. It's not ideal in a lot of cases because you lose a lot of detail. But with that being said, for the era and what their limitations were, black and white was the right choice. It allowed them a lot more. And again, couldn't have happened to a nicer game. So overall, we're going to give that a 7.
7 out of 10. You know, that's actually quite interesting because the Steam review is about 76% said it was positive. So yeah, they're kind of in that 7 out of 10 range.
7.5, yeah.
Solid. So I mean, it does live up to being mostly positive, which is good because my goal was to give you a good game.
And thank you. I had a good game.
And for a 1980s game, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and my goal was to give you a bad game. So I did good.
Yeah, except the problem is I didn't actually play anything. I don't think. Did you give me a game?
Oh, right. We just totally played that out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend that never happened.
Ever happened.
You know, again, I mean, you know, if I did nothing more than just put it on the intro screen and let it play the music,
you would have kind of won.
I would have won.
Yeah, that would have been a great
10 out of 10 for MIDI composition music. Thank you, John Williams, for making E.T.
for being here.
Not completely terrible.
Not completely.
Yeah, that's where that 1 out of 10 comes from. It's all John Williams.
John
Williams.
John Williams, you did it again.
Yeah. And that's because graphics and art, I'm including the MIDI music, so that's the 1 point
That's
he gets.
the one. There you go. Hey.
So yeah, you know what? Not totally angry because I never actually got to play E.T., so I never got to know how terrible it was. Now that I know, thank you for that.
Hey, you know what? Better you than me, because just watching you go, made me just. Yeah, I don't need to play it.
I couldn't figure out what to do.
I've seen it now. I know it's bad.
I just couldn't figure it out. But you know what? I'm actually going to probably purchase Cosmo and give it a nostalgic run.
I'm keeping it. It's on my the word I'm looking for. It's on my Steam library, and I'm going to hold on to it. It was fun.
I like it. So, Metacritic scores. What do you think Metacritic gave Cosmo?
I think Cosmo, if it has a Metacritic score, is going to be very close to where I put it. It's going to be in the 70s.
Oh, man, I'm so sad. Metacritic, and I mean, Metacritic's not the end-all, be-all of review scores, but there's no user reviews.
Really?
There's no critic reviews.
I'll have to...
I feel like you and I are going to spend more time writing reviews than recording podcasts.
So that's hilarious.
Okay.
There is no Metacritic for the...
Well, Aaron, I think I found the problem.
Oh.
So the movie came out in 1982. I'm actually gonna do some critical research here. E.T. movie release date.
Yeah.
So release date, June 11th, 1982. Okay, so the movie came out June 11th, 1982. They would not have banked on making a game for this movie until they would have seen how the theater would have done.
Yeah, and it did well.
And the movie did extraordinarily well. So here's the thing. I found the problem. This game was released December 1982. So I think I remember something talking about this. It was rushed out. Oh my God. Yeah, here we go. So fun fact. They took the ticket sales. So the bid for the game rights ended in 1982, July 1982. So the designer, Howard Scott Warshaw, who intended the game to be an innovative adaptation, I should say, was left with, they only had 5 weeks to develop the game to meet the production schedule for a Christmas release. So they rushed the game production and totally fell on their face. Now, here's the thing. Have you ever played...
I hate to hear it.
Surgeon Simulator?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so those guys initially made that game in a 24-hour game challenge, from my recollection. And that game actually was goofy but fun.
Yeah.
Right? And in 3D with 3D rendered models, and you're in an ambulance pulling hearts out of bodies, and you're hitting bumps, and organs are flying over. Yeah, breaking ribs.
Yeah, good times.
But they did that in 24 hours. This guy had 5 weeks to develop it. Now, back then, there were no game engines.
No.
So you had to develop everything from essentially scratch.
You could always pull up and just sort of reskin, redo.
Yeah, but I am very proud to say this about E.T.
Oh?
The game is often cited as one of the worst titles of all time and one of the biggest commercial failures in video game history. It lives up to that. And I'm proud to say it lives up to that because you know what? There's a lot of negative reviews out there for stuff just for the sake of being negative. But all of the things they say about E.T. for Atari is true. It's true. It's all true. All right, man. Well, I guess that leaves just one question. Do you think you would play more Cosmic Cosmo?
Yes, but not a lot. Because with Cosmic Cosmo, once you've seen everything, you've seen everything.
Yeah.
And there's a joy to that, absolutely. And coming back after like 7-8 years, like, this was kind of fun, and I would tool around for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd play it again, but not heavily, not hard. It would just be like a quick little trip down memory lane, and then off we go to our next adventure.
Yeah. As an observation, I don't think we got a lot of adrenaline out of these games.
God, no. Oof.
Yeah.
They were just kind of city.
I think the general kind of air right now is very calm. It's very chill, very relaxed. And you know what? That's kind of what Cosmic Cosmo does to people, I think. I think it just chills you out, makes you calm, because there's no stress involved in the game. There's no objective. You can't win. You can't lose.
No, you're here. You're having fun.
On the opposite hand,
you lost.
If you're made to play the ET game in any capacity,
you lose.
You already lost the game.
You already lost.
Yeah, as they say, if you have to talk about the game, you've lost the game.
You lost the game.
So yeah, all right. Well, thanks for giving me that lump of trash to play.
And I love that we're using the word trash, because it's secretly buried in a landfill.
Yeah. On an unrelated fun fact, because anime. My favorite Pokemon right now is a trash bag. Yeah, it's like a trash Pokemon. What? Yeah, it makes no sense, but it is now my favorite Pokemon because it is made of trash. So yeah, the trash Pokemon. Hold on, trash Pokemon. It's definitely an ADHD podcast. Yeah, his name is Trubbish. He's a poison type Pokemon that's basically made of trash.
It's a trash bag that kind of gives vibes of like Piglin.
Yeah, he's actually called the Trash Bag Pokemon. So I think that I think I'm going to sentence the game ET to be
put inside Trubbish,
stenched by the Trubbish Trash Bag Pokemon.
Amazing. Yeah. I, however, had a lovely time with Cosmic Cosmo, and if you're looking for just a chill sort of experience and want to be like, hey, I don't want to win, I don't want to lose, I just want to go. Cosmic Cosmo is definitely worth checking out. If only for the sort of recall of what games were and sort of what they were able to do with what limitations they had. Because this was before dedicated graphics cards.
Yep.
So
this was where your programming was essentially finding an interesting way to make your screen display pixels of different brightness and colors, almost from scratch.
Yeah, and move like the movement and things like that. Yeah, it was absolutely very cool. Very cool.
Excellent. Glad you liked it.
Hey, I did. Thank you for recommending it, and I'm not going to apologize for ET.
You know what? I mean, I felt like I did you dirty with Super Meat Shooter.
No. Super Meat Shooter was a joy compared to what ET was.
Then you hit me with the ET bug. And I get it. We were limited to the 1980s. There were only so many options. But I think there's going to be some really heavy revenge selections in the next episode. Yeah. I'm going to see just how low.
Episode 200. He'll be like, do you remember that time you made me play ET? I'm like, that was so long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm I don't hold a grudge. But
for ET you might.
But I definitely can't wait to see what the next positive game I get to play is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you all for joining us, and hopefully we'll hear you or see you again soon.
Yeah. And thanks again, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's our time and the end of our episode.
But don't feel sad it's over. Be glad it happened. From the two of us in the basement, thanks for tuning in.
Join us next time.
And feel free to send us any feedback on our socials or send us a direct email at bfcpcontact@gmail.com.
And if you're really interested in what we're doing, join us on Patreon, where we will have loads of behind-the-scenes stuff and uncut takes as more episodes are released.
We're always excited to hear from you because we love engagement. We look forward to our next Catapult launch and hope you can join us for the ensuing chaos.
Good luck.
See you next time.
Oh, here in America, everyone's having a party.